All right, so we got this down. Paraphrases and summaries. So in order to avoid plagiarism, the easiest thing to do is to either paraphrase or summarize every single thing that you read. When you paraphrase, you literally restate someone else's ideas in your own words. When you summarize, you are restating and condensing someone else's ideas by including only the most important points. It's important to note that a paraphrase is about the same length as the original, while a summary is much shorter than the original. All right, so avoiding plagiarism. Quote responsibly. You know, some ideas are so significant, so original, or so well stated that you want to include them exactly as you found them. And that's great, but you must place quotation marks around everything that you have taken word for word from a source, okay? Every single thing. If you've taken it word from word, it must have quotations around it. Otherwise, you've plagiarized. You've plagiarized, right? So if you change an entire sentence except for one key phrase, that key phrase still belongs to its author. So then you would only put that key phrase in quotations, and the rest of it, if it's, if they're your words, then they stay the same, right? All right, so credit information and ideas from others. Credit all facts except common knowledge. There are some really well-known facts that don't require credit. So for example, almost everyone knows that water is made of hydrogen and oxygen, okay? It's a known fact. Because facts like this are common knowledge, they don't require documentation, which means you don't have to cite them. Everything else, however, needs to be cited. Now, credit ideas as well as facts. If your paper includes an explanation, an inference, a conclusion, or even an insightful question that you do not arrive at yourself, you must credit this source. If you did not think of it in your head before you read about it, you need to cite it. Okay? It doesn't mean it takes direct quotes. It just means you put the citation at the end of the sentence to signify to your reader, like, hey, I got this idea from somewhere else. Now, equally as important is recognizing bias, and this is not only in your own writing, but in your sources as well. So criteria for detecting bias. Intent. Why was the author writing what they were writing? What was their intent? Were they trying to persuade you? Were they trying to inform you? That makes a big difference, right? If they are trying to persuade you, obviously what they're saying is going to sway to one side over another. The author's background. Try to determine how an author's background or profession influences how that author interprets or presents facts. If I am a known feminist and I'm writing a piece about how the feminist movement is the most important movement of the 21st century, you're going to know that maybe I'm a little biased, right? So look out for that. Facts. The author should present facts instead of just speculation. So they shouldn't say, well, I think it's like this. They should say, no, this is how it is because of these statistics, right? At the same time, their facts should be verifiable and from reputable sources. If they're citing, BuzzFeed or Twitter, don't trust what they're saying. All right, balance. All sides of an issue should be examined thoroughly with equal regard, and this is the same when you write your paper as well. You don't want to just write about one side of things. You need to acknowledge all the little nicks and crannies, all the little holes in your argument, right? Because pointing those out and then saying, well, but my way is still the best, or this view is still the best because of this, that, and the other, just makes your argument stronger. Now, time period. Think about how the time period when the author wrote may have influenced there's a huge argument about gun laws, right? And people want to say, well, our founding fathers lived in a different time period. And so their views are going to be different. And you need to acknowledge that if you're looking at sources like this. Last but not least, loaded language. Watch out for sources that use language with extremely positive or extremely negative connotations. So if I'm saying this preposterous decision made by, so-and-so, that shows you that I obviously disagree with what that, body or whoever is, what decision they've made. Okay, so strong language should be a red flag. You probably shouldn't use that source. All right, guys, I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you took thorough notes, because reminder, you do have a quiz the day we come back on these notes, and there will be one more section of notes. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or WhatsApp me or whatever. Have a good day, guys.